Okay, so you see in the previous ones we showed some processes of data interpretation using some aeromagnetic data, but I want to go further to show you some, in this lecture you need to understand the efficacy of using or some of this regional data, to achieve what you want, especially mineral exploration. As we've always say, you don't play with your structures when you are actually dealing with exploration processes. Here is here we took all manner of processes running from magnetic data interpretation, radiometric down. Confidence actually increases from 1 to 2 to 3, so you begin to build that way. So that is how you can de-risk most of the areas you are actually interested in working. Now, after this, what next was actually done? You can see that from here, I will tell you all drill that was actually performed here. It was actually performed here, but it was performed in the wrong direction based on some certain inferences here. You can see these are the two holes that were actually performed before. Now, the next thing should have been done here is actually carry out some detailed magnetic work. And when detailed magnetic work actually carried out, you see this was actually what we saw. You can see, okay, let's look at some of the pictures of the detailed work that was actually done. You see, it's more detailed. If you compare, you can see some actually align with the original, some now are not aligning. You can see these are some of the local structures here, more detailed now. You can see the local ones, see some of the more detailed structures. You can see now this is not a structure. Then look at the northwest structure also. You can see, if you look at northwest structures, you can see this actually align here with the radiometric structure here. You can see that. You can see also radiometric structures align with this. You can see it actually appears. So sometimes it tries to apply, but local ones will actually place it in a very close manner than what you thought. Now, if we look at this way, you can see the results, the summary of that. Now, this is actually narrowing down to something. You can see a lot of kind of intersections and sharing around here, and you can see around here, you can see around here. See, now having done things, you can see what happened when microgravity was actually done here to actually confirm or try to see if there is any heavy minerals around here or if there are some anomaly. Let's look at the result of the microgravity. You see the microgravity was actually done here. You see the results, some of the areas that was actually brought out. 1, 2, 3. There's a very clear demarcation on this from microgravity here, but these are broad anomalies. We are actually interested in discrete or isolated anomaly, which we saw somewhere here and a bit here. Now, what else was actually done to? Okay, we bring in the soil geochemistry around here. So many was actually done, but we're interested in the lead contents. Okay, let's look at the lead content here. You can see what we have here. You can see the lead content. Is that clear? You see there is a control on this not a sense structure here. You can see anomaly running in this direction. This is only where we have one of the high eggs, but this seems to be noise because it's just the point here. But if you look at the flow here, you understand that there is something in the northeastern structures controlling some mineralization. Is this actually stratigraphically controlled, or is it actually localized? More we actually need to say. Then if you look at where we have the highest highest lead anomaly points, you see now this is 780 ppm around here. This is 700 ppm around here. Now looking at this and with the local geology, it's very interesting to know that the structures here is more of the kind of structures we are looking at in the north, perpendicular to the Bennu Trough, actually perpendicular around here. So if we're looking at most important points now from here, this will be considered first, having coincided with, okay, let's look at, you see, our targets from the gravity. See our target from the gravity, macrogravity. So you can see we're having about four criteria are actually coinciding here now. The first one is we are seeing our northeastern regional structures. We are seeing on the local magnetic structures perpendicular to this. We are now seeing also the soil geochemistry actually having 780 ppm around here. We are also seeing that okay, we can also look at these two structures also running perpendicular to each other, all within these locations. So other interesting, you can also see some other elements actually associated with lead zinc mineralization, especially in a sedimentary package. You can't rule out strontium. Let's look at strontium as one of the other. You can see association of strontium. You can see that you can see a very high level of relationship here, where we have 780 ppm for lead. The strontium here is appearing very high, here, and two. So you can actually see that this is actually an interesting structure in the northeast around here. So that is strontium. Another one you can we can look at is let's look at molybdenum. Also, we have almost the same thing, along this region also. So that is the essence of soil geochemistry around this area. Because at this particular stage now, you are looking at targeting, you see. So what else was to just lay your principles of IP here. Your profiles IP actually laid out along this location. You can see you are not actually expected. Some of you can ask questions at the end of the day, but look at what I'm saying here. You don't expect these profiles to actually cover the entire region. That would have been very, very costly. So you've seen the importance of understanding how these data are going to be well processed for you to eliminate most of the things. So based on this now, we need to focus definitely on this location. So that is how IP actually was actually laid here, and you will see we will show you the IP results. It will be interesting to see what IP result actually show. Okay, let's look at our IP results on this particular line. The first line here, let's see what IP result is. Now the IP was actually carried along from east to west. We want to see if IP actually will show us high changeability around here or high resistivity, actually defect, actually also try to see if the structure we're interested in is actually correct. We're interested in the structure around here and this. So we need to see the IP. there is something we need to look at very well here. This is about 470-meter line. So definitely on our IP line, we should be expecting something from, this is 211, 210. Let's just assume 210, 211 from here to here. So our IP definitely from the east to the west, we should be seeing something showing around here. You understand? So we're going to bring in our IP and see how it looks like. Okay, our IP is there. That is our line 1. Redefine. We've done that before. Let's see. Okay, let's redefine and see if there is any special anomaly within 2 running from 210 thereabout. Okay, now let's just stop here and see the IP. Wow, are we seeing something here? You can see high changeability around here. You see this? Are you seeing it? You see, this is 160, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210. So between 210, 220, 230, this is actually where the high changeability is. So is that telling us something? You see, the same thing with the resistivity. You can see. So it's very clear that there's a coincidence. You see, there's a coincidence between this, that you can see the resistivity also. There's a very clear resistivity anomaly around here, coinciding with that of the IP. You see, there is 70, 80, 90, and about 1, 210, 230. You can see. Now let's go back to, so that is our line 1. What did you see? You see where the structure is. Exactly, look at that. Like 210, you can see almost from 210. You can see there's a very clear indication that this structure here is true, and that the changeability here is very high. So definitely this is a very good target. Is that clear? So you see how you can actually integrate all your methods from the beginning to the last for you to actually come down to a place to drill. Without all these processes, it's very difficult for you to find drilling targets. So you can ask your questions about the processes in detail. We can actually talk more on that, but just for you to see in a short view, for you to see the process that we're actually taking to arrive at these targets.